Welcome to HBOLAX or Kicking and Streaming.
And except a lot of people took that, but that honestly was
Dragon bitches.
Dragon Bitches. Honestly, I think we should just do Dragon Bitches. Hello and welcome. Welcome to our podcast, whatever it's called.
Welcome. Hello. This is Lizzy Pace.
And this is Katherine Dudas.
And we are the two foremost TV experts in the world.
Yeah.
And we are going to bring you our breakdown of House of the Dragon, episode 3. This just aired Sunday. Hopefully this episode is coming out shortly after that.
Yeah. And yeah, we're just gonna talk about, we're gonna recap it, talk about our thoughts and our feelings. Lizzy and I both love TV more than anything, and we love Game of Thrones more than anything. And yeah, Lizzy's a TV writer. I'm a film director, and so yeah, you should listen to us, and you should believe us, and believe women, and take our opinion.
Subscribe. Rate us 5 stars. And let's get into it. The reason that we are all here today, episode 3.
Episode 3. Wait, can we just first, what did you think of the first 2 episodes? Did you like them?
I'm in 100%. I am like,
this episode made me in.
This episode was fantastic. It was up there. It was very dramatic. It reminded me kind of some of the like epic battles that we had on Thrones OG.
Yes. I thought it was like funnier. I know it's not like funny, but there are a couple moments where I was like, oh, this is like these lines are good. Like this is like, because George R.R. Martin is one of the writers.
Yeah. I think this is his attempt to sort of corral back the narrative. Like, this is how it would have gone if I had ended it how I wanted to end it, kind of thing.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Love.
We begin with the promo, which is recounting last week. We're all talking about naming a new heir. Who is going to be Viserys's heir? It's been named Rhaenyra, but we're seeing that Corlys and Daemon are teaming up to burn out the crab feeder. They are taking on this mission themselves. We see Viserys going on the date with that child.
That was so funny.
Miniature daughter.
Oh my god, it was horrible, but also kind of funny. Yeah, that was crazy. Yes,
I really was like, are they showing us him going on that date with that child to make us feel better about him going on the date with Allison? Like, honestly, it's an older teen.
Yes, I think I'm very interested in the portrayal of Viserys, the king. I'm really interested in it because I go back on and forth on him, and I'm like, okay, this is our Ned Stark. Not to like do comparisons to Game of Thrones, but I'm like, this is our Ned Stark. This is our he's a good guy. But we've seen by episode 3, we're like, okay, he loves his daughter. He is kind of feminist. Like he is choosing love or like affection over power. Like, okay, but then there are certain moments where kind of.
And slice open the wife to get out that firstborn son.
Yes, exactly.
Who cares?
Yeah, but you know what? That's royalty, baby. That's honestly, and we'll get into it, but I think Rhaenyra, like, I'm like, when she's all like, I don't want to get married, I was on the side of Viserys. I was like, look, this is what you signed up for. This is royalty, baby. I don't know, we'll get into it.
Oh, interesting.
I have a lot of
we left on the cliffhanger.
Yes.
Daddy Viserys announces he's going to marry the older teen, Alicent Hightower, which I think was a shock only to Rhaenyra.
It was really, yes. Yeah, she was the only one. We all were like, yes, say Alicent.
We open. A flag is on fire. A ship burns. The crabman, aka Prince Dahar, is grabbing one of his people he's vanquished, and he is tying him to this stick. And The guy is yelling at him the whole time. He's like, fuck your whore mother and your bastard father. House Valyrian is coming for you. This is not what I would be saying to someone who is tying me up and about to nail things through my hands. I would be like, hey, like, I'll join your team. Like, I love to feed people to crabs too.
Lizzy, that makes me respect and admire you more. I think honestly, switching over and those, yeah, of course. Also, the crab thing, I will say.
I mean, I wouldn't even be there to begin with. I would be hiding in the caves if I was in any war. No way I'm participating.
No, we're both smoking a joint in the cave somewhere. We're both yeah, we're not fucking around.
Yeah, where are those characters?
Where are those characters? The fun stoners. The related stoners. That's my big point with this series.
This is all HBOLAX is about.
Honestly, maybe that's true. Yeah, the crab thing was funny to me when they first introduced the idea of crabs. I was like, wow. I will hand it to them. That is creative. I was like, reading my crabs. It's kind of funny. I mean, it's not. I'm sure it's a horrible death. But I was like, wow, crabs. It seems kind of funny when they're like, the crab eater. Because it's like crabs are cute and little. Like, oh, they're like.
Yeah, it seems like it'd take a lot to have them kill a whole person. And we see what that actually looks like. We really get up close and personal with it. Crab man is pounding this nail into his hand. The crabs start eating him. He's still screaming. He's like, my boy Prince Daemon is gonna come, and a dragon comes, burns the ship, burns a bunch of people, and the guy's like, hail Prince Daemon, burn them. He's really giving a lot of exposition here. He's like, this is the crab man's name, burn the triarchy. I guess he's part of a triarchy.
Yeah.
And then
the funniest moment of the episode, which is then he gets burned alive by the dragon. No, he gets stepped on. He gets stepped on by the dragon.
No, it steps on him. My God, he gets squashed like a bug.
That was because, okay, I will say I was really happy on not a horrible moment. I'm not a monster, but I was happy. I felt like this was the old Game of Thrones back. I was like, yes, I was like ruthless, like, fuck no. A big funny nope. Like, which
it was absolutely hilarious.
It was so funny. And I was like, oh, that was great. So I was
and you kind of want that to happen to him the whole time. He's yelling a lot.
Honestly, he's a little preachy, I will say,
a little preachy,
a little kind of an SJW, social justice, where I don't know, I didn't on and on
well,
about, like,
now everyone is running away from the dragons. They're retreating to the caves. Daemon is riding in on this dragon. He's like, I'm going to feed you, crab man, to the crabs. And I'm like, everyone is still saying like what they're going to do. Like, don't say your plan.
Yeah.
What kind of war is this? You'd be like, no, you're the one we won't burn if you just turn yourself in. Wink, wink.
Yes, God, you really should have been in charge of this war.
Thank you. I should be in charge of everything. I say this all the time.
I know.
People are shooting arrows at the dragon. A lot of arrows are coming. One hits Daemon, but you're like, Daemon is going to be around. He doesn't really seem like he's actually going to be killed.
Yeah, I was thinking. Yes, I was.
And again, it's Game of Thrones.
That's a good point.
I thought that about Ned Stark.
That's a really good point. Oh, wow. Lizzy, I feel so dumb. You're right. Why I was just like, no, it's probably a flesh wound. But it was really, I honestly rewinded it and I was like, that did get him, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, he then flees. The dragon goes away. The dragon also, the way they fly, the way the dragons fly, they're much more, they're longer. They're kind of like fun little snakes too. Their bodies are more snake-like. I just thought that was a funny little I don't know, they reminded me of the Mulan dragon. Anyway,
yeah, you've had a dragon as a pet.
My roommate had a dragon as a pet, and let me tell you, I gotta say, nothing like any of these dragons, which is ridiculous. Yeah, I'm honestly love reptiles. I think they're kind of cute. I would definitely be a dragon rider, and I would then release the dragon so it could live freely, which would make me a very bad fucking Targaryen. But anyway,
when you guys had that dragon pet, the dragon was always trying to escape.
He loves me, and Lizzy's like, he's leaving right now.
He's leaving right now. He is hoping desperately to get away from you.
Would love to just leave and never come back. Which honestly, that's what that's men and me, you know. So we're not the first time. No, I'm a delight to date me. I'm accepting all applications to date me.
Yeah, Katherine is single.
Yes.
To all the laxers out there, or dragon bitches.
Please, yeah, or dragon bitches, please. We have a PO box. No, we don't, but we will. And just send me Valentine's. Thank you. Send me all of Rhaenyra's marriage proposals. Just send me like in a rolled up scroll. That would actually be really cute.
Oh my God, I hope you get marriage proposals. That's so cute. Well, speaking of marriage proposals, we jump back to the palace, and it appears we have had another time jump. There's been so many time jumps this season already. It appears we have skipped 2 years ahead. Alicent and the king now have a baby, and it is a boy named Aegon. The Hand, aka Hightower, Alicent's father, who made her go into Viserys's chambers, is so happy, and he's talking with another guy, and the guy is like, you need to make sure the king names that baby as the next in line. Like, this is really important for you.
And it's funny because I feel like Hightower didn't need reminding of that.
I know. I feel like he's been really focused on that.
I know. This guy's telling Hightower that.
More than anyone.
I know, guy. And he's like, Hightower's like, oh, he's eating porridge with his hands. And the guy is like, yeah, he's going to grow up. Like,
he's eating porridge with his hands, like making fun of the baby.
Yeah. And I'm like, excuse me. Like, he just learned motor function skills. Like, leave him alone. I did love this time jump. I do think, it was a fun little exposition, the exposition of these guys talking, which I thought was funny because I'm like, he's the heir. And I was like, yes, obviously. Oh, and then
I appreciate that they make it clear for us, because sometimes Thrones, there's too many names and I get confused.
That's true. They did mention that there was a time jump like 3 times. They're like, yes, now that he is 2 years old. And it was
it's been 3 years. It can wait 3 days.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, that is the king talking to another guy who brings news from the Stepstones. They're giving the Crabman update, and the king doesn't care about Crabman. He's like, look at my beautiful baby. Everybody needs to fatten up, eat food for this big hunt.
Yeah.
I don't know why they needed to do that. The hunt seemed to require very little exertion.
Yeah. Oh my God, the hunt was so funny. Oh my God, I love the hunt. The king is eating his feast. He's all like, oh, like it's gonna make us look. The other guys, his like, I don't know their names, but like his like soul, like I don't know, counsel or whatever, being like, hey, like you should probably help out these people that you know that are dying. And the king is like, that would be weak. And I don't personally agree it would be weak. And that's kind of like a big interesting thing of this whole episode, because I'm like, I feel like the reasoning is not, I don't believe the king's reason. Or maybe I just disagree. Honestly, maybe I just disagree with the king's reasoning. I'm like, why would it be weak to help out? Because
Daemon went rogue.
I know, but wouldn't it? I would be
it's
like
pride.
Strong pride.
It's something men have.
I have no pride. I can't relate to this.
That's me too. I have no pride also, like, so it is confusing.
Oh God. Yeah.
They're chatting that Lord Jason is waiting for them at the end of this journey. I'm like, wait a second. There's a person named Jason in the show.
I know.
Really taking me out of this magical realm.
Oh, I agree. The Jason, I know. And it sounds so much like you think he's going to say Jamie, because it's like Lannister afterwards. And he says Jason. Yeah, you're right. That is a very like bro. That's someone who goes to the University of Arizona and, fucks around with ketamine.
Katherine just stood up and revealed that she is wearing an actual bathing suit to record this podcast. She is on vacation right now. Yes, we are recording our first episode while Katherine is on vacation. Hopefully our sound will be pretty good.
So we go from this scene to my favorite cut of all time in Game of Thrones, which the king is like, where the frick is my daughter? And then it cuts to his daughter at the beautiful tree reading, and then with the I think his name is Samwell, like playing his banjo or his
guitar. The ludist.
And then he's like, can I play something else? And she's like, no, I want it again. And I'm like, that is the most relatable thing I've ever heard. Because exactly. I famously only want to listen to one song over and over again. And this is like it's like, yes, back then when you didn't have recorded music to listen to on your MP3 players, what do you do? Like, what do? You have him just start over and over again.
You have your human slave.
Yes,
keep playing it
to go over and over again. It's a little more embarrassing because, like, what if Rihanna knew that you were playing her song over and over and over? You know, if you had to ask Rihanna like every time, like, can you do it again? She would be like, oh my god, shut up. So yeah, a little embarrassing. Yeah. I feel like I related a lot. Big girl boss moment of relatability. Love that.
Yeah, I would be like, this is Taylor Swift's new album. I will have you I will have a dragon burn you if you don't keep playing it.
Exactly. That's
yeah, there was a lot of like teenage angst in this episode. A lot of people questioning, you know, do I still have my childhood? Is she a teenager? Is she a queen? Now that she has this little boy baby, now she's even more lost.
Yeah.
And now we get a big power off moment as a pregnant Alicent comes up. Yes, Alicent is pregnant with another baby, another just spitting in the face of her BFF, Rhaenyra.
Hurts me. This did hurt me. Yeah, she's like, she asks Rhaenyra to come hang out. We're gonna go on this hunt. Rhaenyra is like, no, the king. And Alicent is like, let's be a family. He wants us all to be together. This could be fun. Then Rhaenyra is like, oh, well, okay, does the king command it? And then Alicent's like, yeah, but like, let's not make it that way. Like, let's just be a family. And Rhaenyra's like, no, you were my best friend, and now you're having sex with my dad. But I will come because big
you banged my dad and birthed a boy that is going to take my job.
Yeah, literally, it's like, of course, I'm
the ultimate betrayal.
I'm Team Rhaenyra at this point, obviously, but there is something about, I really like the actress that plays Alicent. I think
she's great.
She's really great.
They both are.
Yeah, they're both so good. But Alicent, I feel like, could easily be like a very one-dimensional played character, and I think Alicent really, like, the way she talks to her father in the previous episodes and stuff, even in this episode, is like really maybe for this one, but yeah,
she kind of reminds me of Kendall Jenner.
Oh my gosh.
They also argue here about Samwell the ludist going, and Alicent's like, you have to go, and Rhaenyra's like, stay, and Alicent says the queen commands you to leave, and then he leaves. So who's really in charge?
I love that.
Alicent. The tree has a face.
Yep, the tree has a face. Yes, this is the same tree in Game of Thrones. This is like the same tree, right? That big tree that was important.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure that will come back. But then they head off to the Kingswood in this little carriage.
Yeah, now the king and the baby and Alicent and Rhaenyra are all in this one cart together. And everyone is saying, oh, Rhaenyra, you're going to be pregnant soon.
And Rhaenyra, it's like Rhaenyra has never even thought about it before. It's like, this is where I got to say to our audience out there, look, I'm a little harsher. I'm a little more, I get annoyed more with characters and things and people. So I will say, I think you're more of an optimist. I think you're more, you're more of a lover, not a fighter. And I
definitely,
and I'm a lover and not a fighter in real life. But when it comes to TV, I'm very ruthless. Even though I'm a very adorable, and you think I'd be very innocent, but I'm ruthless. And I will say, I was like, Rhaenyra, like, this is, of course you're going to get pregnant soon. Of course they want you to get pregnant. Like, that's the thing. Anyway, though, I will say the maids with the funny hats are my faves. I will say
they do have elaborate headgear. Seems like a pain to do all your chores and have to hold that up.
Isn't it hard enough? Yeah, to like freaking wait on hand and foot. Now you have to look ridiculous. Like, that was a little that I didn't like. But yeah, so I think it's in a way kind of breaks your heart a little bit because Viserys and Alicent are like, it could be fine. We're gonna hang out as a family, and Rhaenyra is like, oh, should you be traveling when you're pregnant? And she's like, yeah, like being in nature is good. And I'm like, dude, don't you just live in nature? I don't know. Like, isn't everything, you guys don't live in a city anyway.
Yeah. Isn't your toilet nature?
Yeah, I was like,
what is the toilet situation? That's all I'm thinking.
From the lower east side, you're coming from, yeah, it's, I thought that was funny, but they have a fun little sparring thing. But Sarah's like, oh.
The king wants her to join the chase for the animals in the hunt. Rhaenyra says, I'd rather not. The boars scream like little children when they're slaughtered, and this will come back. But Viserys says, you have duties. Rhaenyra's like, I'm always reminded no one's here for me. They all just like the little boy. And the carriage rolls through parade style to this tent city, kind of a little Burning Man-esque.
Ooh, love that.
And everyone is applauding them. Looks like people are still loyal in the kingdom. Daenerys walks out to applause and everyone hails Aegon the baby king. And Viserys raises this baby like the Lion King.
Yeah.
And Rhaenyra is a moody teenager. She wishes she was being held in the air by her father.
Don't we all? Yes, and then she enters into the welcome feast, I'm assuming, which is honestly looks like this cool. This is like glamping, I guess. This is like just a big glamping tent, not very naturey. Big feast. She's walking around. She does. Oh, we get our first like glimpse
Glamps.
Of the guy, glamps of the guy.
You only do glampses when you're glamping.
It's true. No, God, rookie mistake. But yeah, we have a hint of the guy who's going to hit on her later. She heads over to this group of gossiping women.
Yeah, they're saying something about Lord Johanna being abducted and being sold to a pillow house. I don't know what this means.
I was like, what? Is that a whorehouse? What is that? Like,
do we know her?
Yeah.
I assume it's a whorehouse.
Yeah, that's big news.
The women are also gossiping about war. They're saying the Stepstones are untamable. I don't think that you can win there. And they're like, Rhaenyra, what do you think? It's your uncle.
Yeah.
And
she's like, I don't talk to him.
Alicent defends Rhaenyra. And they're all talking shit on Daemon. Oh, one of the women has a pug, which really took me out of the scene. Pugs just don't seem like they don't seem like they'd survive in the modern times, let alone this fantastical medieval time.
Also, I think they took like hundreds of years of inbreeding to get them that way. I don't think there was enough time in history.
That's why they like them. They're fellow inbreeders.
Yes, as we found out later, they love that shit. Well, Rhaenyra has a great line. She's a great eating cake line that I burned to the old lady with the pug.
I love that. How have you served by eating cake? Roasted.
Honestly, yes. I just stood up and applauded at that moment. But yeah, women. So then we end. She walks away really angrily. We get a shot.
We see this like market of weird foods. There's a man cooking hogs. There's 2 peacocks.
Oh my gosh.
Very vibey.
Okay. A side note, this is just like, I was thinking, this is just like me being like, oh, nothing should go to waste. They should like House of the Dragon should keep the set. Hear me out. They should do this day of filming, and then they should have they should do an entrance fee and like do like a Renaissance fair when they have days like this. And so they'd make a shit ton of money. Guys, HBO, reach out to me.
I love that.
A ton of money.
And film that reality series.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh, that's amazing. It's like Housewives of the Dragon.
It's us, and we come in and we're like, ew.
Ew.
That's all I think whenever I'm just like picturing myself living in this time. It's just like gross.
Oh my god, yeah, everything's gross. It's like, I'm sorry, I have to shit where? Excuse me.
Yeah, the healthcare doesn't look good. Rhaenyra runs outside from this welcome feast and talks to a man with long kind of a bob. And we learn this is Lord Jason Lannister. She gathered that from the lions. She is on it.
He's so smart.
And he gives her wine and he says, oh, the best hunting is near Casterly Rock, near my home. And the tower is so tall you can see across the sea. And he's like standing behind her, like looking down at her hair, like he's going to like eat it. It's creepy.
Yeah, he does a creepy job. And then he's like, oh, well, I could, the place I'm from, we could get a dragon pit. That's the only thing I need. And that's when she's like, wait a minute, why the fuck would you need a dragon pit? That's when our princess catches on. Well, this man is flirting with me.
Yeah, he says, I'd do anything for my queen or lady wife. He's being very subtle here. She goes, I know. Thank you for the wine. And she leaves. Like, her first proposal of the epi.
Yes.
She's not having it.
No.
Jason, he pours that wine out when he doesn't get her. He's like, but I'm not going to drink this alone without my lady wife. We then see the king and Rhaenyra. She's like, what am I'm just here to be a prize to proffer to great houses. He's like, you're of age. Jason's an excellent match. She's like, he's arrogant. He's like, once again, you're of age. I'm drowning in marriage proposals.
I will say, she was like, he's arrogant, this stuff. And he's like, well, you have something in common. And I'm like, oh shit. I was like calling her out. It's like, yeah. And this was a very interesting, they get all yelly and it's kind of awkward, embarrassing. It is kind of housewives like, they're just yelling. Anyone could hear them. And they're having a little quarrel. And I will say at this point, I'm King Viserys. I'm Team Viserys at this point, I will say. Because
why?
Okay, obviously the guy sucks. But it is a little crazy that she's being like, I don't want to marry. And it's like, yes, I know, but like everyone does. And again, this is me. I would just be a sheep. Look, I'm a sheep in this time, I'm a sheep in the olden times, because I'm like, she's so I feel like she needs to provide a counter, you know what I mean? Because it's not just guys, it's not just women that get married. It's guys who get married too. Like everyone gets married. It's not just like, yes, obviously it's more of a sexist thing with women because they're being traded for power and stuff. But guys also, he had to get remarried. He wanted to bang the hot Allison, but you know, he was still, you know, it's duty. I guess I'm all for duty. You got to do your duty. And
Katherine was raised in a traditional Catholic household. I think she comes from a different perspective. I'm like, the baby's going to be king. Why does she have to get married? But I also am like, they kind of come to the solution at the end, like, oh, you pick. And it's like, yeah, obviously, like that should have been, why wasn't she like, hey, I'll marry, what's his face? Cole.
Nice. Yeah. But I also was like, oh, is she queer? I don't know. I was also waiting for a reveal that she was queer.
I was wondering that. There was like, she hasn't shown any interest in men. She's very upset with Alicent over the betrayal. The Hand sort of butts into this convo and he's like, there is big news on the hunt. We have sighted a white hart, which is a deer type creature. And this is great for the name day. The symbolism that you get this great white rare creature for my grandbaby boy. And Rhaenyra, she disappears.
Runs off
and
on her horse.
She has jumped on the horse.
Yeah.
Kriston chases after her into the woods and grabs her horse before she rides into the water. And he's like, what the fuck? And she's like, my father's trying to sell me to Jason. Was I just named the heir to raise his standing? And Kristen's like, do you want me to kill him? which I liked.
I like that too. I like him a lot. Yeah, and then we have a nice little scene with the two of them walking their horses through the forest.
They talk about their relationship history. She's like, were you
know.
ever betrothed? And he's like, I had my crazy young days, but my station was never high enough for a formal betrothal. But I could have married a common girl if I wanted. Oh, he's too low born for her to pick? Is that, I guess that's the assumption that we're supposed to have.
Yeah.
She's like, I'd love to be able to choose a person. I'm toothless. And he's like, you're not toothless. You put me on the King's Guard. I owe everything I have to you.
I like that. That was hot. Liked that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I owe everything. And I also, it is an interesting, yeah, we're doing the whole Aladdin thing, right? But like where she's Princess Jasmine and she's like, it's hard and I don't like it. I have no freedom. And he's like, well, a lot of people would freaking like that, and so would I.
Yeah.
So we have a
you don't
bit
have
of
to steal bread.
Yes, tales all this time kind of dilemma here for our little Rhaenyra. But yeah, she's smiling. She's like, she likes him. I'm still hoping she's queer at this point. But, you know, we're doing a little cuteness. And then we go into,
that would be great. I mean, we're kind of getting this like feminist refresh in a way. Yes. Like not feminist, but like female leads.
Yes, exactly.
When he says, I owe all I have to you putting me in the King's Guard, for me, this was the horniest moment of the episode.
Oh, yes. Yes. Ding, ding, ding. Horniest moment. I agree. I think it was.
We cut back to the hunt. There's a lot of gear around the hunt. You know, they've gone on this journey. They've got all the carriages. The dogs all have these spiky Game of Thrones collars. Like that'll add the extra edge to hunting. But they're really just standing around. And then everyone is talking about poop. And the king then feels the poop of this deer. And he's like, still fresh.
Okay. This is humiliating. For hunting when you're the king is humiliating. It is a bunch of people standing around being like, oh, you did such a good job. You're really good at this. Like, you're a great hunter. Like, I feel kind of bad for the king in these scenes where it's humiliating.
Oh, it's completely humiliating. And like, honestly, I think it was sort of a commentary on hunting in itself. It was just like people standing around and like, you have way more weapons than the animals. It's not like a fair fight. Exactly. The king is feeling this poo, I think, with his bare hands. And this guy's like, oh, the white hart is a symbol of royalty before there were dragons. So this would really be great for the namesake of this boy. And the hand's like, I love signs of importance. If the gods did wish to show their favor, maybe you should pick my grandkid as heir.
That is so funny. It was what a subtle, love that. Good job, Otto. It's great. Otto is an interesting character, the High Tower guy.
Yeah, I like him.
I like him too. I do like him.
I think he's a very good actor.
He's a very good actor.
I believe him in all these scenes, and when he's making his daughter go to his chambers, wear that dress that your mom wore.
Yeah, when he first told her to do that, I was like, that really does. I was like, oh, okay, I see. I'm like, it's not smart. It's a good idea.
It fucking worked.
It fucking worked.
It worked.
Yeah, and also I think she kind of likes him. Allison. I'm like, that's kind of cute. She does kind of like him, even though it's weird.
Yeah, we haven't seen her ripping apart her fingernails in a minute.
Oh my God, exactly.
How are those nails? Why don't we have a check-in with the nails 2 years later?
Right? Oh my God.
Later, everyone is drinking post-hunt. There's a bunch of ladies teaching the baby to hopefully stop eating the porridge with its hands. Idiot.
Oh yeah, what an idiot.
And Jason brings this gift for King Viserys, says, I had this forged for your baby. I hope it kills the white hart. He's like, I hope this is the thing that will stab that symbol.
Yep.
I would be honored to take Rhaenyra as my wife. I offer you strength. Viserys starts this scene and he is getting lit. Do you think House Targaryen wants for strength? And it's like, obviously he's just like, doesn't like this guy because Rhaenyra doesn't like him.
Yep.
Jason's like, well, Wouldn't you take more dragons? Viserys, do you have any? Oh, love this one-upsmanship.
I know.
Little duel.
I love it.
Jason's like, well, Casterly Rock is a great sea. You could be well compensated for the loss of station. You know, if you're naming Aegon, which I had assumed. Everyone is obsessed with if this baby is going to be named Heir.
Yeah, big through line with this episode. Everyone's into it. And everyone wants the baby to be king. I was surprised at this moment when Viserys was like, what the fuck? Like, did you doubt my decision? Like, do you think I just did this on a whim? I made my daughter heir on a whim. He's really...
I doubt all his decisions. They've all seemed bad so far.
Yes, exactly.
He seems to be making mistake after mistake.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, you weren't elected democratically. You were picked by a god, and we can't expect you to be good at making decisions. And he's not. And he gets really. I mean, he's drunk at this point, but I think it's telling that he's saying all this and he's like getting crunk.
He's starting to get a little paranoid. He's like, many of us are the Bannermen questioning my choice. You have to tell me if there's a rebellion stirring.
Poor and then this other the guy poor he's like I didn't know, I'm sorry.
What? Poor Jason? Fuck Jason.
I know, but you know, I my hands get clammy in these moments. I'm like, what's he gonna say? What's he gonna do? Oh my god. And then
he's gonna say, thanks for the gift, more wine.
Oh my god, so funny.
Did you watch Succession?
I've seen the first season.
There's a bit where one of the characters keeps trying to get a gift for the lead guy who's kind of like the king, and he's like trying to give him this watch the whole time, and then he doesn't care about the watch, and that's what this reminded me of.
Yes. Oh my god, it's so pathetic and sad. Speaking of pathetic and sad, Hightower sits down with Viserys and is like, your prize is within reach. You're such a good hunter. The white heart thing is coming. Like, you're amazing. And Viserys is like, fuck off. Like, okay, what do you think, you know, of Jason, Lord Jason's
Lord Jason.
Lord Jason.
What do you think of Lord Tyler?
Yeah. And then Hightower is like, you know, she'll do as you say. Viserys is like, well, I want my daughter to like me. Like, I want her to be happy. And Hightower, this is completely foreign to Hightower. Hightower's like, happy? You want your daughter? You care? Because Hightower could not give a shit. Alicent's happy. And then we get my least favorite moment of the episode, where the suggestion of, oh, are you looking for someone else for her to marry? What about her brother? And he says it like, oh, well, yeah, why not? Viserys is a little... He laughs. He's like, he's two. And then Viserys is like, or the Hightower is like, yeah, but don't you know, in this world, it doesn't matter. We just wait. Yeah, so that I was disturbed by, but then it made me think it makes sense, because that's why, isn't that why Daenerys went crazy at the end of in Game of Thrones? Because it's a lot of incest in the line.
I mean, was her going crazy earned? I don't know. There's a debate that rages on. She supposedly was pissed about the bells. I don't know. But that's a whole other
thing. But yeah, so it did make me think of that, though. It was like, okay, so incest is a thing, and that's kind of might be why they got the Mad King 170 years later or whatever.
They're a well-known incestuous family, but when you see it up, when you really think about it, and you're like, the baby is two, you're like, but can he fuck?
Yes. I'm like, such a cute blonde hair. But yeah, so the king is just like, I don't want to talk about this. I did not come here for politicking. Why is everyone bothering me? And I'm like, you're the king. This is the thing. Like, you don't get to do anything fun, dude. Again, it's all
he's drinking alone. He's like, I came here to hunt, not politic. And he's drinking alone, and he hears the laughter of the masses at the party, but he is distant and drunk. And now he has the pitcher.
Oh my god, so funny. Another relatable moment by House of the Dragon, when he's trying to get the like thing into his cup. I'm like, wow, I've been there. If you're so drunk on your rose goals, you're like, if I can just get it into the cup. I felt very kinship in that moment. And I like that.
This other guy comes up and he's like, Rhaenyra ran off. We think maybe Kristen's with her. He's like, well, I'm powerless over my 17-year-old daughter. And the guy's like, that's tradition. Do you want my opinion? I think you should do the son of the sea snake, Sir Laenor, the heir to the wealthiest house. You know, we already talked about this. I wanted you to marry into that family if he survives the Stepstones. So there's someone we're going to be watching in the Stepstones battle scenes as a possible heartthrob for Rhaenyra.
Yes.
And we cut back to Rhaenyra at a campfire with Kristen. And he's like, can we go back? Even though we know he doesn't really want to go back. Exactly. She prefers it here.
He does. And romantic. She's like, I prefer it here. And honestly, I don't blame her that we stand nature. Yeah, she just doesn't care if her dad worries to death. And then she asked the question, do you think that the realm will accept me as queen? And Cole is like, wait, let me take a second to answer that. He gives a non-answer and he says,
like, real answer?
Yeah. He's like, well, they have to. And she's like, yeah. Which is an interesting, this kind of thing is interesting to me because it's like, we're still making, like, this is a storyline we've seen a lot before, right? Like a woman in power who is concerned that people will not accept that she is the leader. And I just think it's sad that we're still at a place in the world where these stories are still resonant. We're still doing them. We're still like, but what? She's a woman. Why would they listen? But yeah, so that's reflective of, I'm like, if we moved on, because I was thinking, because at first I was like, oh, like this is such an overplayed like storyline, like, yeah, whatever, they can accept her as queen. Again, I'm harsh, but then I thought, like, well, that is still the world, like it's still
butter emails.
It's butter emails. Yeah. So I'm like, well, and then we hear the horses neigh. Something is in the forest. What is it? I got nervous at this point. Did you get nervous at this point?
Of course.
That was scary.
You know, the animals, when they start freaking out, you know something's coming.
I got nervous.
Is it going to be the white stag? No, it is a boar. It tackles, Kriston grabs his sword and the boar tackles it. And then the boar attacks Rhaenyra.
Oh my God.
And Kriston stabs it. It seems dead. No, it's alive. Rhaenyra stabs it a lot. And she is stabbing it over and over. Blood is pouring all over her face. And it's basically, she is stabbing her childhood. Because she said the boars scream like babies. And she's like, okay, childhood over. I'm an adult now.
This is why Lizzy is one of the foremost TV experts. This is the kind of...
This is what you get. This is the top tier analysis.
I love that. My intelligent comment was going to be, what, when he pierces the boar, the sword comes 2 inches from her face. I'm like, what if he almost went too far when he pierced? There's a shot. Our audience will know what I'm talking about. When he pierces the board and it's like so close to her face, and I'm like, that could have been bad. Anyway, so that was my...
Yeah, our audience will know. They're smart.
They're weird.
They don't. Nothing gets by them.
Nothing gets by our audience of waxers. We get another fire scene. We got Alicent and Viserys in front of the huge bonfire. You know, he is just kind of being like, I am confused. I'm confused.
He's drunk. He's like, oh, I picked Rhaenyra to protect the realm from Daemon. It was out of love. But many in my line are dragon riders. There's few dreamers. The power of the dragon is next to prophecy. I saw this in a dream when she was a kid, a male baby wearing the conqueror's crown. I tried to manifest this vision. I sought it again and again. And this obsession killed her mom. So I thought this would be the way out of grief and regret to set things right. I never imagined remarry and have a son. What if I was wrong? And Allison's like, you're cut off.
He's like, you gotta go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
And he has these dreams with Viserys. I'm like, oh, he's a witch. I love this. He's like and we got to keep an eye on his visions, I guess, throughout this whole series. I feel like this is going to be a thing.
I thought you would like this, the manifesting.
I do like it. I like the dreaming. I like he's seeing things that are coming true. I wasn't expecting it from him. And I think it makes me like him more. It makes me be like, okay, I think he's won me over. I think he's doing his best, and he's getting confusing messages from the universe, which, yeah, it's kind of like very Greek tragedy. It's like he's seeing one thing and like, well, he's gonna get that son, but then the mom has to die. So I do like this. Yeah, so we're at the end of the scene. We're like, oh, maybe he's gonna choose the boy.
There's a horn in the distance. He throws his cup in the fire, taps the baby belly, and we're back out at the hunt. Again, more people standing around waiting.
So embarrassing.
They've tied up this deer. He may not be white, but he's a big lad. There's got to be symbolism in that. I love how they're just like, this is definitely about the baby king. And they hand Viserys this big sword to kill the deer that is tied up with like 2 ropes on both sides. Mm-hmm. And then the guy's like, right here, Your Grace, and points on the exact spot on the deer to stab it.
So cringe.
So cringe. Like, this is the cringiest moment for sure.
He's like, everyone's like, go king, and he does it, and then he misses, and then the guy goes a little bit again. He's like, just like a little bit to the left.
Yeah, just one more stab, please.
While the thing is dying, and we're like, okay, yeah.
They clap, and out in the forest, we see Rhaenyra and Kriston looking over a vista. And her hair is all bloody now. You know, she's an adult now. Mm-hmm. And then a stag walks up to them, and it is white. They see the symbolic stag. She is meant to be queen.
Yes.
Kriston pulls his sword, and Rhaenyra says, no, let it be free, unlike her.
Lizzy, yes. Exactly. Oh, love this. God, you're so smart. We got this nice symbolism. She rides back into the camp. She's walking like a fucking badass with blood all over her. All the suitor guy, Jason, is like, whoa.
Whoa.
We freaked out Jason. I thought she was gonna.
Whoa, I don't like women on their time of the month.
I know.
Go back in a tent.
It's like, oh, she got her period blood on her head. And you think she's going to talk to the king, but she doesn't. She walks past like a badass.
That was a badass moment.
That was so badass. Loved that. And then we have Otto Hightower coming in to see his little daughter, his pregnant daughter, and she hates him so much. I love how much she truly hates him. It's on her face every time she sees him. I like that. He's like, how's it going? And she's like, I guess it's fine. Like, what? She's like,
who do you want me to fuck now?
Yes, exactly. She's like, why are you here? Tell me why you're here. I don't care. Like, and then he's like, well, my grandson's the future of the realm. And then Alicent is like, well, I like how she phrases her argument here. He's commenting here. He's like, oh, you gave after 15 years of uncertainty and like all this stuff. And she's just like, well, I'm not going to teach my son to take his sister's rightful place. And then obviously Otto is like, don't you know she's a woman? It's so funny when every time a guy talks about all this air stuff, it's the same thing. He's like, but she's a girl. And it's very funny. And then and then Alicent sticks up for her friend, her girl boss friend. And our house swore obedience to her. And Otto does not like this for obvious reasons.
He is like, you need to guide Viserys towards reason. He'll never find it on his own. So maybe he's like, I have said it too much. You need to start saying it. Yes. And Alicent goes into Viserys's room. He is hungover. Viserys is like, Rhaenyra didn't like Jason. And Alicent's like, I fucking told you. And he's like, but she needs to get married. And Alicent is fucking smart. She's like, she needs to believe it's her choice. She has this rebel style, so she needs to think that she is making this decision. And Viserys is like, look, here's a letter from Vaemond Valerian, the sea snake's brother. He's fighting in the Stepstones. He's asking for help. And Alicent is like, Daemon's losing this war. They're asking for aid. Why not send it?
Love it.
And Viserys is like, well, this is a war started by these two malcontents mad at my decision, talking about Daemon and Corlys. And Allison's like, what? You're a good man who loves his brother.
It's so funny that we're finally getting that, like, someone, God, we should have had this conversation a while ago, Allison. It's like, yeah, like, this is what everyone wants to say. It's like, yeah, but like, and the thing, she ends the scene being like, is it better for the realm if the guy who feeds people to crabs is dead? And it's like, oh,
great point.
It would be better for the, yeah, I guess you're right. And of course,
yeah, I guess I don't want my people to get fed to crabs.
Oh my God, it's such a simple thing. And he's like, wow, I guess you're right. And once again, a woman is right. And we got Mary walking into to the council. Viserys gives the message to a really hot guy. That's just a side note. But I guess he does come back.
I think you need to point out all of the hot guys whenever there is one. We need that. The laxers depend on this info.
I agree. They need to know what my type is.
Catherine is accepting proposals from this messenger.
Rhaenyra sits down. Viserys is like, what do you think? Rhaenyra is like, doesn't matter what I think, as you have reminded me.
He's like, Daemon's my thorn. I was trying to help you. She says, you want to replace me with Allison's kids. Mm-hmm. There's no further use for me. You would peddle me for a fleet. He says, you misjudge. She says, they gather to feast on my bones. That's what she says of all of her proposals. People are gathering to feast on my bones. Like, maybe we can reframe that as like, everyone wants to fuck me.
Catastrophizing. Let's take that.
Yeah, you're catastrophizing our dog.
Negative filtering. Yeah, no, again, this is another one of those moments where I'm like, in this time, don't most people marry for not love? That's my question historically in this fictional world. I'm like, but isn't that most?
Viserys is like, yeah, we want to be strong, but I loved your mom. Like, that was real love. I'm not trying to replace you. I want you happy. Rhaenyra, you think a man will do it? This is like,
gay.
I definitely don't think that a gay relationship would be acceptable to Viserys and like two queens in charge. I mean, I fucking hope it goes there. Now you've got me like,
oh, that would be so
I don't think it will,
like,
but
like,
it's just like a pair of lesbian queens in charge.
Yes, queen.
And Viserys is like, not a man, family. Rhaenyra is like, well, why didn't you go with so-and-so? That would have been the best match for you if you were actually looking for advantage. And Viserys is like, find a match that pleases you like me. And she cries.
That's sweet.
And Viserys says, I did waver, but I swear on your mom, you won't be supplanted. So the tier play is working. He's like, you're going to be queen. I'm going to stick to this, even though
I wasn't expecting that. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you might. This is a good moment to log. Okay, we're just.
But I'm also like, you're swearing on her mom, who you killed.
That's a good point.
How much does that mean?
I'm like, you did doom her to death, for the sake of your son, but. Which, which, by the way, I have seen breech births on Instagram because I like watching birth videos. Mm-hmm. So I think they could have attempted the breech birth. That's just my 2 cents as someone who's seen videos of it. Anyway.
Yeah, Catherine loves birthing videos. I'm hoping that expertise will also help this podcast thrive.
I think it will.
We cut to, it's an action sequence. A dragon is dropping firebombs on the hidden ships, and someone is giving us the exposition. We have 16 ships. I've sent for help, and someone says it's pointless, Dad. Oh, so this is Laenor and Vaemond. Mm-hmm. And I think Laenor, he's the young hottie that it seems like maybe he's going to be paired with Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
And they basically are talking about battle strategies. And then Daemon comes in and he puts his helmet on the table. They're basically like, we don't have this much food left. Mm-hmm. And if we don't attack now, we are crab food. And this guy comes in. Is this your love, the messenger?
Oh, yes. My husband comes in and gives the message. And which, you know, I thought was a happy message. I thought was good news, but apparently was not. And Damon starts beating him over the head with his helmet. Sad. I'm like, weird. Which, of course, we come back to the big P word, pride.
Pride, yeah.
Lots of pride. Again, can't relate. But Damon's pissed that he
can't relate.
Damon's really pissed he's losing, and that he is has to have his brother come help him. Does not like that. So then he goes, and our cute Matt Smith, which I can't stop thinking of him as Matt Smith because he was Doctor Who, Damon. He goes and he's baked. Oh, we got a terrible shot of crabs crawling into the skeleton. That was gross. But yeah, Damon walks up, and he walks up to the caves and gets out that white flag. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, they've basically laid out that they need to get the guys out of the caves as the strategy. And so we're like, wait, is Damon actually raising a white flag and surrendering? Would he rather lose than win with his brother's help? Because the brother's help is en route. That's like the plot point. And Damon's like, I'm going to win without him, or I'm going to lose without him. I don't care. I hate my brother. P word. That we see the crabman comes out to look at him. And then he gives the nod to his guys. This is his communication strategy, is he just does this little head nod. And these guys run out to grab him. Damon is holding out his sword. And as soon as the guy grabs the sword from Damon stabs the man with a hidden sword, starts stabbing everyone. And all of these arrows are flying at him. And he hides, and he's running and dodging these arrows.
He doesn't get hit by any of them. Is that can a physicist write in? Not a physicist, someone who understands, I don't know, motion and stuff. Tell us if this is possible, because I was so sure he was going to get hit by an arrow, but maybe if you're running so fast, they're just naturally just going to miss you. I don't know. I think an angel was helping him in that moment.
An angel?
I like a Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon angel coming in, and shielding him. And also I will say Damon is much better. He's so good at fighting, which is very he does not die. I hate every shot of there was this gross shot with the crab guy, and he's just like constantly looking at the sky for dragons because he knows it's coming. And then, Damon's still, sorting them to death.
Yeah, this is like his John Wick moment. He is just slicing and dicing, dodging all these arrows on this murderous rampage. And we see the crabman. He's doing more of his creepy nods to other guys to run out of the caves. And Damon does get hit by a couple of arrows, and he pulls them out of his flesh and crawls into this little fortress as more arrows are coming. And the crabman smells the air, sends more guys, and it looks like a full army is now upon him, circling him. And like, this scene is so exciting, and I loved it.
Very good.
And of course, Damon's army comes, and the dragon lights up the crab army, bodies and bodies on fire as the armies are clashing. Damon sees the crabman go back in his cave, and Damon somehow runs across the whole beach to the cave.
Really
we see the dragon fly down and claw a couple guys, and we see Laner is fighting, and he's really good. He yells Dracarys, so he's in charge of a dragon. And then Damon drags the crabman out of the cave, and it is just the crabman's torso and guts, and Damon is covered in blood. And this was, for me, the goriest moment of the week.
Yep, I'm gonna say for me too. That was horrific. We saw his intestines. I didn't want to see that, but I saw it. God, it's so gross. Also, I will say the dragon is really good at knowing to only put fire. They're really good at aiming the fire on just the bad guys, because I'm like, there's some friendly fire.
Are they? Are they, or are they killing their own people?
He's killing everyone. I know, like, it's really hard to aim. We have a great shot of Damon at the end, really bloody face. He's like, I did it. I'm the one who really did it. My king brother can go fuck himself. And I think that's what he's thinking in his head. And I guess they won the war, right? I guess that was the war.
Yeah, it seems like they've won the stepstones. And the P word really has won out in this episode.
The P word has won
and
out.
We get the promo for next week. Rhaenyra's with a dagger. Daemon comes back. He says, "I'm king of the narrow sea." I don't know what that means. Viserys calls Rhaenyra his political headache. Rhaenyra is calling something a vile accusation. There's more palace intrigue. Daemon's in a black cloak, like cleaned up. And we see dragons attacking a boat. Looks like more wonderfulness to come. I'm so hooked. I'm so glad to have this franchise back in my life. Like, I love this. I love appointment television, and for me, Game of Thrones has always been that.
It's so good. It's like the writing feels like we're closer to what it was when Game of Thrones was really good. We got great action sequences. I'm really into the acting's fantastic. I think the casting's really good. Yeah, I'm freaking excited. How many episodes are in this series? Or in this season?
10.
10, okay.
But they're already picked up for season 2.
Of course. Yes. So yeah, I can't wait. I think I wonder, do you have a prediction of like a main character that's gonna die? I think the king's gonna die at some point soon.
Absolutely, the king is gonna die. Viserys he's out. I bet he'll die in like the season finale. That would be my guess.
But we gotta see her be queen, or what happens there.
Ned Stark died before the finale of season 1. Like, that's wild. Because I was like, this is going to be the main character of this show. And then
that was brilliant. That was amazing.
So I think he will die for sure.
Yeah. But Lizzy, thanks for talking about this with me. And this is so fun.
Oh my God. So fun. A lot of people think Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, that's like a male nerd domain. And I think it's time to take the P out.
Two girls who can't understand the motivations of these characters because it's about pride. So I think we need to covering the series. So we hope we are your go-to for recaps of this fantastic.
Yes. We will be back next week to break down episode 4. I can't wait to do it with you, Katherine. It's going to be a grand adventure. And give us a 5-star rating on wherever you're listening to this. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and fire and blood.